Peace to the gods and goddesses. We back at it. Episode 9 of the Overthinker podcast. And we are truly blessed, truly honored to be here tonight once again, right? So as you see in the title, tonight we are going into outer space. And we also going into the universe. And the book that we're going to be using, it's one of my favorites right back here, The Kabbalion. So I didn't start last show like this, but we're gonna start this show like this, just giving gratitude, just being thankful for the negative and the positive, being thankful for life itself, and being thankful for purpose, being thankful for the foundation, being thankful for discipline and consistency, being thankful for people like you and me, being thankful for the 99%, the 1%, being thankful for it all, and just having honor and having this pleasure to be here and this opportunity. So we're just gonna start the show off tonight with a moment of silence. So as we begin, we're just gonna start. All right, so let's begin. The title says Outer Space and the Universe. And one of the books we're gonna be going into tonight is The Hermetics. And we touch on a little bit of everything in every episode, and it's basically tailored. And we're going into outer space and we're going into the universe and breaking down these words as I always do in every episode, every live that I come on. And if you're new to the live, we going on Google. Now, what you do with your information, how you apply your information that you receive and that you have access to, you have to use discernment. So as I go to Google, I use discernment. I go to the lies to see the consistency in the lies, to pull the truth from the lies. We can't be shameful. We can't be bashful. We can't be fearful. Can't be doubtful in how we move. We can't be doubtful with the information that we're getting in. We have to use discernment. So we know when to shun information, and then we know when to receive information. All right. Because a lot of the things that's out here, for the most part, be distractions. That's why we named the title tonight what it is, outer space in the universe. So let's get with the outer part. What is outer? Because it's two separate words, right? They just want you, they condition us, right? Conditioning is programming you, is getting you ready for whatever it is that the person that's conditioning you for to get ready for, excuse me. All right. Now, if I'm slurring tonight, let me say this now. If I'm slurring tonight, cautious. I am on spirits tonight. All right. Libations is in effect in the building. First time, episode 9 eat the building. Seems like the right time to do it if you ask more. All right. So if I'm slurring, I'm going here, I'm going there. Y'all just bear with me. We on the oil. If you have your drink, your smoke, however you get down in this live today, in this episode today, go ahead and do it as you take notes, as you listen in. Okay. So outer. All right. It's pretty basic. Outside, external. What are similar words for this? Surface. The ones that drew me in was surface and superficial. Surface and superficial. All right. So not only does outer mean the outside of or external of, right? Of you, the being, the person that's living here, the individual with the mental process for this universe to exist, right? Outer. So when we talk about outer, we're talking about the being of existence. We're talking about the mental being of existence, outer, right? Whether you want to say plant life, animal life, human life, or planet life, right? However you want to say it. So outer, outside, external, but it's also a surface and it's also superficial. Okay. So that's pretty basic. Let's dive into space, right? Because that's where we start to lose or get distracted or forget to use discernment. See, what we got to remember, I don't care who talking to you. It can be me. It can be me on the live right now talking to you. The information that I'm giving you, take it with discernment, then take the information that I'm giving you and go search it for yourself. Don't take my word just because I took notes and did a little due diligence myself and don't do yours. Because as the people, the followers of who we choose to be our leaders in our communities, right? We usually take what they say at what they say and don't use discernment and put our due diligence behind it to see what they talking about is actually what's going on out here. And that's not me shunning no leader. It's just putting the pressure, putting the diamonds, putting the messiahs, putting the chosen ones back in line, putting the ones of value who bring value to the whole system, to the whole program back to the forefront. That's why we got to do this. It's not because, oh, we trying to be smart or intelligent. No, we just need to know what's going on out here. That's it. Peace, love, and life. Right? So let's dive into space. What is space? Right? There are several definitions of space. We have to remember who is writing the definitions for the words. It's not you. It's not me. So we have to remember when we go into these things, we hear this information, we got to remember, okay, it's other people putting these definitions on things. So by us doing our due diligence and having discernment, we can dive in now, right? And start to pick apart what people are saying, pick apart the information for ourselves so we can apply it the way we want to into our lives, into society the way we want to. That's what it's all about. Because we wake up and we work every day, meaning we striving towards some type of result, whether we like it or we don't like it, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. It doesn't matter. We're striving to an end result. No matter if we're homeless, no matter if we're the billionaire, the millionaire. It doesn't matter if we're middle class. It doesn't matter if we're poor minded mentally. It doesn't matter what mental state you in. It doesn't matter. Every day is a certain goal. It's a certain goal getting to a certain result, whether you're unaware of it or not. Right? So this is why this applying this information is so important and doing your due diligence. All right, so let's not lose track. Space, right? We're talking about outer space, outside, external, right? Similar words for outer is surface and superficial. All right, space, a continuous area or expanse which is free. Right? Science tell us we ain't gotta look far. Bill Nye, what's the black dude name? Y'all know him. That be talking about everything. They're supposed to be the smartest person on the planet, and whoever else that's talking. They say what? That the universe is continually is expanding, meaning it's always moving forward, never backwards. That's one of the reasons why I say a positive will always outweigh a negative. Matter of fact, you cannot have a negative without a positive. A positive can go in any direction. You can only take a step backwards once you take a step forward. It's not the other way around. Okay? So space, a continuous area, expanse, which is free. Okay? Not only that, okay? Another word or terminology, the definition that I took from Google, which is the fifth one, is if you actually Google the definition, right, is the freedom in the scope to live. The freedom in the scope to live. Remember, freedom is not free. All right, because energy must be what used in order to what we call to be free, in order to do what we want, when we want to do it, at the time we want to do it, and however we want to do it. Freedom, right? But that energy has to be used because we are still energy beings. So it's always a price to be paid. It's always a sacrifice, right? In the scope to live. All right. So let's get back to the first one, a continuous area expanse, which is free. Let me tell you something. That's all around us. Okay. That's all around us. You ain't never been in outer space, but they tell you it's outer space. Elon Musk has yet been to outer space. He the one with SpaceX. He the one that say he trying to build a life on Mars. What happened to that? Or you ain't see the Mars station out there in the desert in Mexico or wherever they was. It don't matter. Just like the space station underwater. So when we come across this information, right? And then we still have people saying outer space this, blue Kachina this, red Kachina this. What are we talking about? When you gonna come out your mouth and say, okay, the moon landing was fake. Not only that, not really understanding, comprehending that the moon is a natural satellite. Well, what is a natural satellite? What is a satellite, period? So when we talking about outer space, what are we talking about? Outer space is the space that's right here in between me, you, and the phone. That's outer space. Ever expanding. That's outer space. The stars in the sky don't change. Why is that? Because you ain't spinning and you ain't in outer space. And it's okay. But that's just a theory, though. Just like outer space, Big Bang, and all of that is what? Theories. Meaning continually to be tested, to see if it's true. Because why? Truth is consistent. Truth is consistent. That's why it's called a theory. That's why I deal in theory, right? Because it's always to be tested, meaning that we not living in fact, because facts what change over time. That's why we can have 5 definitions for space, because people put their own spin to it. We have slang. People create their own language. We go from Latin to French to Old English to German to Dutch. This stuff matters when we talking about this information. Everybody trying to get a scope on what's going on, right? Not understanding who they are. How can you get a scope on what's going on in the world that you live in when you don't know who you are? Right? You got to ask yourself that. Well, who am I in order to live in this world? That's whether you homeless, poor, middle class, rich, or elite. Whatever class you want to fall in, right? Third world, second world, first world. Whatever world you want to be in. Why are you here? Who are you? Right? You are a being of pure potentiality. You are a being of infinite creativity. So once you realize that, okay, boom, now I am here to do what? To be pure potential and to be what? Infinite creativity. Because everything around me is that. It adapts to the environment. It creates itself a new body for the environment. It transforms itself. We do the same thing, right? Be renewed by the transforming of your mind. It's not the other way around. You can't transform your body and think your mind gonna transform. It doesn't work like that. So how can we look outside of ourselves in order for the world to transform? It doesn't work. So how can outer space be a concept when it's really only inner space? It's really only the underworld. As above, so below. We are the surface. We are the surface. We are the outer space. That's why we got to start going where? Start going where? Within us. They want you to run away from the what? The inside. They want you to run away from what's under. We went into the what subtracting really means. It doesn't mean to take away. No, sub means below. Right? Track comes from the Latin word tahir, means to draw. Means what? Sub draw. I'm drawing below. I have to draw within, as above, so below. That's why the concept of the black sun, here go the overthinking rant of the black sun, Middle Earth. This is why these concepts exist, not because of somebody want to make up something. No, because it's universal law. As we're going to dive into this book right here, the Kabbalion. We're going to break that down today. Why this is so important. Okay? So Let's draw back in from the overthinking rant. Now let's dive into the universe. Uni. What is uni? Well, everybody should know that, right? One are consistent of one. Now watch this. Let's break this down. Yesterday, we went into 1 plus 1 equals 3. 1 plus 1 equals 3. Now, a universe contains millions, if not billions, of galaxies, supposedly, in outer space. This is the story. This is the narrative they telling us. This ain't, hey, how you doing? Peace, love, and light. All right. This is the story. This is the narrative people giving us. We go to school, they tell us, right? Go on the TikTok, they telling us. Go on news, they telling us. Facebook telling. YouTube telling. Whether flat Earth, uh, circumference, heliocentric, breathing Earth, whatever. Space always thrown into your face, right? But get this: the uni is one, but the uni also contains millions. Huh? How is that? How is that? 1 plus 1 equals 3. If you wasn't there, the episode, I wasn't able to upload it to this afternoon. It'll be on there today. So if you didn't see that episode from last night, 1 plus 1 equals 3. And also the law of karma. You can go catch that episode tomorrow. All right. So uni, one consistent one. Let me not go too far deep. All right. Because I am on these spirits tonight. So I don't want to lose myself. Okay. So one consisting of one. Now, what is verse? All right. We ain't talking about no lyric rhythm rhyme here, right? We talking about denoting an area of activity of interest or a section in society distinguished by a particular characteristic. Let me say that again, okay? And then we're gonna go into another definition of it. Verse. Now, let me say this. This is the suffix for verse, not the noun. Okay? The suffix, not the noun. That's why I say we got to do our due diligence on the information. See, people know how to make it sound good. I'm here to make it sound boring. I want you to run away from it if I can, because I want to draw the few that's going to implement it into society and actually apply the information real time. Right? But hopefully we can get a large reach as well. It don't matter to me. However, the most I want to move it, that's how we going to move. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's say it again. The suffix version of verse, meaning you got to hit the button on Google and go a little deeper. That's all that means. That's all it means. Just got to go deeper. Okay? Verse, denoting an area of activity of interest or section in society distinguished by a particular characteristic. Okay? That's the first one. The second one is what? A particular sphere. I put in parentheses shape. Okay, I put in parentheses shape because we have to be careful. That's why I say use discernment. Use what comes to you naturally. Okay, a particular shape, sphere of activity, interest, or experience. One of the things my mom said to me, one of the things that is my philosophy, or our family philosophy, I should say, right, is that, let me say it verbatim. It's right here in front of me. It never leaves me. It says, we all have been given time and space. What we do with it is important. Make your investment, right? That's the philosophy, right? For our family, right? So when it comes to understanding what verse is, a particular sphere of activity, interest, or experience. Okay? So one particular sphere of activity, interest, or experience, or one denoting an area of activity or interest or a section in society distinguished by a particular characteristic. This is why they can come up with the metaverse. This is why. You think DC, Marvel, and they doing these different universes, and they expanding their name and their character base and different things in the anime version on the TV screen that we watch and we entertained by and we distracted by. You don't think that's real life? Where do they pull the creativity from? Where does the imagination have a basis for that? It's real life. So I tell everybody, that's I'm an anime head, as you see already, right? I'm that person that sees the creativity. I'm a person that not doesn't see just the creativity, but I see the creativity in each individual. I see it. I see the creativity in you. Not because I want to be nice. No, because that's who you are. It's not just all what they tell us it is. It's what they actually put in the distraction to distract us in the first place. That's why we're captivated. Not because, oh, we think it's cool. No, because it's a part of us. They play on who we are. They distract us with who we are. That's why Andrew Tate can come on YouTube and go crazy and be like, oh, life is a video game, flash and materialistic stuff, knowing darn well he died, he gone. He can't take none of it with him. And then it's going to be left here, saved for the next superhero or person that wants to be in that light. Same thing I tell people. People be worried about a doomsday. Here go overthinking rant. People be worried about the doomsday, right? Building bunkers. They starting gardens. They doing all of these different things, not understanding how life works. You building that for somebody else. You are the trustee. Let's break this down in the trust format, right? How we supposed to break our family down, right? I'm gonna go into this. It's an overthinking rant right now. We're gonna go off the topic a little bit. A trustee. Somebody else is the beneficiary. But we don't see it like that because we have an illusion of independence and not interdependence, not codependence. We have an illusion we out here doing it on our own. What are you talking about? You didn't even make the toothbrush that you go wake up and use. But you out here thinking you doing it on your own? I got it out the mud. And the gun, like, look, I done been in that life, right? I done been in that life where you gotta do what you gotta do, whatever. We all done get distracted and we all live whatever type of lives and we all go through whatever we go through. I done been in that life where it's like, oh, we getting out the mud, but none of the stuff that's on our body we made. The gun on my hip, I ain't make. The hoodie I ain't make. The hat I ain't make. Whatever I'm supposed to be selling, I ain't even grow. But we independent. We getting it out the who. I ain't had nobody help. What are we talking about? Right? This is why I say you gotta have discernment and distractions. That's why if I'm listening to rap music, right? Or if I'm listening to whatever type of music, I can listen to it and understand the creativity behind it and whatever illusion that's behind it because I understand what's behind it. I understand what's behind it. I can comprehend what's behind it, right? And that's what we have to do as the people. It's not the fact that they making the music. It's the fact that whoever behind the scenes trying to use the music to distract us, whoever it is, because it's distracting everybody. It ain't just distracting one race of people, right? Or one ethnic group of people. I like to say, right? Because the races, we ain't what we racing for. We're going at it on another night. We'll say that for tomorrow. Matter of fact, that'll be the title for tomorrow. All right, we'll get into some of this race stuff. All right, so if everybody getting distracted by the same thing, then we all got to start doing our due diligence behind the information that's behind it. If we're getting the information, right, that's saying these big name people doing this and doing this behind closed doors, doing whatever type of rituals, they making these type of sacrifices, then people coming out saying that they doing this and doing that. At some point in time, you got to say, okay, through all these lies, there is one consistent thing. Right? But then you got to remember and have discernment that they could always, what that we said in the previous episode, both sides. But that's a whole nother thing. All right. So let's round back in. All right. Let's round back in. Universe. Are we seeing how the universe is exactly what we are living in from a mental standpoint in the world that we live in today? Okay. Now, when I say this, I say one, denoting an area of activity or interest or a section in society distinguished by a particular characteristic. That's your job, your 9 to 5. That's your college degree that you just got. Right? That's you ain't even got a GED. That's you working for whatever. That's you starting whatever business. That's creating your universe. Your universe. There are billions of, see, as above, so below. What they have done, they have tricked us to think that the stars are what we see in the sky. We are the stars. We are the galaxies. We are the universes. We are the ones that's creating the environments. We are the ones that's holding the interest. We are the ones that's holding the activities. We are the sphere. We are the star. We are the 5-pointed star. If you go look in the mirror and you spread your legs, spread your arms, and hold up right, you are the star. But they want you to believe that that's up there. No, what that is a twinkle. Is what that's a reflection, is what that is, of something down here. And what is that? I don't know. And I ain't gonna sit here and act like I do. But one thing I'm starting to comprehend is that it's us. But they have went against universal law or use universal law against us to believe that it is outside of us. That's why there is outer space, but they can't talk about inner space. Because if something is moving forward, it has a source. If there is something going forward in a positive direction, no matter how many times during the positive direction it has a negative step forward, it continues to go positive. It has a source. That's why inner is so important. Similar words to verse. Okay, let's get into it. The heavens. Ain't that a coinky dinky, huh? The heavens. Creation. The firmament. Infinity. All existence. We can't make this stuff up, right? Universe, that's the definition. So we have to really start to understand, comprehend, and understand that first off, you got to understand who you are. Then once you understand, comprehend who you are, then you got to realize it's interdependent. It's a codependency. It's coexistence. You're not here by yourself. Because once we start to realize that, and this is my message, we can start to implement what we want to see in society. Nobody can bring the change into society but us. When we get behind the right people that's pushing the right things, when we take the leap forward and go start the business and implement it into society that we want to implement it and how we want to implement it, no matter what people say about us. Look, man, it don't matter. You can be a drunk. You can be a alcoholic. You can be a womanizer. You can be whatever, like, or feminist. You can be whatever it is that you want. It don't. When I say that, I'm just saying in the sense of somebody can look at what you're doing in a negative fashion. It don't matter. Just do it, because the Most High, what we call God, the creator of all things, the unbound one, uses vessels even if the vessel doesn't see itself fit to be used. That's how powerful you are. See, Source can't do nothing without you, because everything has a process. Everything must progress. It has to go through something. That's why people say, oh, we antennas. Oh, you think they just saying we antennas for an antenna is there to do what? Pick up a signal. That's why I do what? I meditate, I take notes, and I pray. Those are three different things, separate different things, two totally different forms of communication with the unbound one before I speak to his people, before I speak to myself, before I speak to the unbound one itself, which is you, which is we, which is all mental. So let's get into that. Let's get into that. All right. The Kabbalion. That's what we're diving into today. Right? The Kabbalion, universal laws, and and different things of that nature and principles from the three hermetics. Okay. Three hermetics. Uh the story is, the narrative is, from this information and how it transpired, and the source of it all is Thoth the Atlantean, Hermes the Great, Tres Greatest, however you want to pronounce it, whatever name you want to say, Greek, Egyptian, Atlantean, whatever, man. It's just a dude with some information, some good information. Let me put it like that. How about that? How that sound? To all everybody that be so spiritual and religious, just a dude with some good information. Sometimes we just gotta talk it up to that. We can't get caught up in the names and stuff. Because sometimes when we get caught up in the names and stuff, we get distracted by images. We get distracted by the not the more we get distracted by all the extra that's going on in this story, but not concerned with the morals of the story. If y'all catching my drift. Okay, so let's dive in, right? All right, so let me make sure I find what I need to find first. Y'all give me some time, real quick. All right. Oh, that ain't what I want. Boo, boo, boo. Ooh. Let me see. Must be in the beginning. Sorry, y'all. Usually I have it marked, but I'm tripping. All right, boom. There we go. Chapter 5. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient for the ones who stayed. All right, so chapter 5. What this is the mental universe. Okay, the mental universe. The reason why I came in with the mental universe, I could have started at mental transmutation. I could have started at the all, and they all speaking on universe. But I wanted to start here because we got to get this concept. Once we get this concept, then we can actually see why why I push the message of you are pure potentiality, you are infinite creativity. All right. The universe is mental. Let's say this again. The universe is mental. This is not the first time we said this on the live. This is not the first time you've probably heard of this. All right. The universe is mental. held in the mind of the all. All right. So we skipped the chapters with the all and mental transmutation. We skipped those. We just went straight into chapter 5, the mental universe. All right. The all is spirit. You got to understand what spirit is, though. What is spirit? Spirit is what? Breath. The breath of what? Life, the essence, the essential nature. Okay? The all is spirit. But what is spirit? This question cannot be answered. So that's why I say what I be saying to y'all. Don't listen, fact check me. Don't just go into just listening to what everybody just saying. That's why I said what I said. Because somebody gonna come on here, and I've said it before, the spirit is what? Breath. But in all, nobody knows what it is. Don't nobody know what's going on. That's why one of my philosophies is, all I know is I know nothing. That's why I just have to come out here and just do the work and do the best that I can. Right? So here we go. This question cannot be answered for the reason that its definition is practically that of the all, which cannot be explained or defined. Spirit is simply a name that men give to the highest conception of infinite living mind. It means the real essence. What did I just say? Just the what? Breath of life. The essence, right? The essence, right? The essential nature, right? That's why we went into, oh man, what episode that was? Man, that had to be, let me go back in my notes real quick. Yeah, that had to be being, belonging, and becoming. You can catch that on YouTube, right? When we went into being, meaning existence, right? And the similar words for existence was what? Life, blood, entity, and esse. ESSE, meaning what? Essential nature or essence. So when Bobby Hemmett was coming on back in the day, and he was saying how the mother, right? They go to story, this the narrative. Let's dive in. Overthinker rant, right? Bobby Hemmett, right? One of my spiritual leaders, right? Is what? He says, the mother, I can't tell you the names, right? I can't tell you the names, but I can tell you the narrative. Whatever son created whatever it was that we so-called being here, the mother came in and sacrificed herself and put herself in us. Now, according to biblical scripture, the law is on your heart, within you. The Father lies within you, according to scripture. Okay? So we have two totally different. You got the Bible, you got Bobby Hemmett and the books that he was reading at the time. Okay? Now, this is just their information. Okay? Based on the information that they have gathered, based on the information that was placed in the Bible, on the books that was received by this particular Bible. Let me say it like that as well. Okay? So, the essential nature, all right? Understanding the real essence, spirit, the real essence, the essential nature. Breath, your breath is the essential nature for you to what? Live. If you ain't got your breath, you ain't here. Nah, that ain't my high school. I appreciate it though. That's some of the boys that I coach and stuff, man, to be honest with you. Some of the boys going on to high school and stuff. But I appreciate it, man. We out here in the community doing our best. All right, so here we go. All right. So the real essence, it means living mind, right? As much superior to life and mind as we know them, as the latter are superior to mechanical energy and matter, spirit transcends our understanding. And we use the term merely that we may think or speak of the all for the purpose of thought and understanding. We are justified in thinking of spirit as infinite living mind, at the same time acknowledging that we cannot fully understand it. We must either do this or stop thinking of the matter at all. Peace, peace. Life is good, man. I can't complain, right? All right, so now it says, let us now proceed to consider, or let us now proceed to a consideration of the nature of the universe as a whole in its parts. What is the universe? We have seen that there can be nothing outside of the all. Say this again. There is what? Let us now proceed to consideration of the nature of the universe as a whole in its spirits. What is the universe? We have seen that there can be nothing outside of the all. Then is the universe the all? No, this cannot be, because the universe seems to be made up of many. That's what we went into before. Oh, universe got all these galaxies, stars, combustions, cosmos, right? Let's keep going. And is consistently changing. In other ways, it does not measure up to the ideas that we are compelled to accept regarding the all. You see that? So we talking about the mental universe now, because we like to compare, some of us, not everybody, right? We gonna compare spirit, universe, all of this stuff to the all, the unbound one, the creator of all this stuff, whatever, simulation game, however you want to put it, right? That's what we do, period. I've done it, right? That's what we do as people. That's what we do as religious people. That's what we do as atheists. Whatever we want to be a part of, we have a tendency at times to confine the unbound one. How can you confine somebody that's unbound, or a being, or a nature, or a state? How can you do that? Right? So let's get into it. Let's continue. All right. The all, as stated in our last lesson, then if the universe be not the all, then it must be nothing. Such is the inevitable conclusion of the mind at first thought. All right. But this will not satisfy the question, for we are sensible of existence of the universe. Then if the universe is neither the all nor nothing, what can it be? Let us examine this question. All right. So this is why I like this book, and one of my favorite books is because it's continuously asking questions. We have to continuously ask ourselves question after question after question after question after question. No matter how many times you're wrong, no matter how many confirmations you get, continue to ask yourself. Why? Because ain't nothing wrong with asking a question. But don't nobody like a know-it-all. You be like, every time you talk to him, I know, man, I know. Yeah. I know. Man, this man don't even listen, bro. So continuously asking questions. All right. It says, if the universe exists at all or seems to exist, it must proceed in some way from the all. It must be a creation of the all. Now we see, now we getting into what? What's the word? Right? It must be a what? Creation of the all. What are we? Pure potentiality, infinite creativity. What is the all? Right? Your likeness in the image, the Elohim, the God figure, whatever you want to put there, was creative enough to create you and everything that we deemed as creation, or had the right bodies around them that knew how to create. So that's why one of the things I said in previous episodes is that what we perceive as a God most high, or what they give us as a narrative, is not connected to this world how we believe it is connected. It's connected through its essence. The best way I can put this is TV. The Simpsons, for example, right? The Simpsons is created by a creator. It's written, it's animated, right? But once it's done, it's done. It's on to the next episode. It's created. I'm not going back to it. I'm on to creating something else. But within that creation is creating more. How do we know this? That creation created Simpsons figures, as in collectibles, Simpson games. It created Simpsons toys for kids, or not really kids, but Simpson collectible for adults. I know I said that already. Simpson games, Simpsons predictions on life, Simpsons this, Simpson art with the Supreme on it. So just from creating the 1 episode, the 2 episode, the 3 episode, the 4 episode, the 5 episode, the 6 episode, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, I have a season. Season is done. Boom. I put it on the shelf. I am the creator. I am the unbound one, meaning I'm not bound to my creation, but my essence is in my creation. It's in my creation, meaning when they see my creation, they know Seth MacFarlane made whoever made The Simpsons. I don't know who made The Simpsons. He probably made Family. I don't know. But the essence is there. Right? So we should really have to start realizing who we are by breaking down this information through laws and principles. All right, so let's continue. I don't want to get too far on the rant. All right, because I want to get this and I want to keep it going. All right. So it says it must be a creation of the all. But as something can never come from nothing, from what could the all have created? Some philosophers have answered this question by saying that the all created the universe from itself, that is, from the being and substance of the all. But this will not do, for the all cannot be subtracted from nor divided, as we have seen. All right, man. I don't know if y'all been here the whole time. If you've been hanging out with me, it's an honor. I don't know if y'all been here the whole time, but we had just went into this earlier, right? We can't make this stuff up. You can't divide, subtract. It's only positive. How you dividing this for subtracting in real life? That's only on the numbers for this arithmetic for you to go work whatever we need to work and construct whatever you try to construct on a mathematical basis. But here, right, it's telling us the all cannot be subtracted nor divided. We already know what subtract means. We'll get into division later. Okay, let's continue. As we have seen, and then again, if this be so, would not each particle in the universe be aware of its being the all? The all could not lose its knowledge of itself, nor actually become an atom or blind force or lowly living thing. Some men indeed realizing that the all is indeed all, and also recognizing that they, the men, existed, have jumped to the conclusion that they and the all were identical, and they have filled the air with shots of I am God, right? To the amusement of the multitude and the sorrow of the sages, the claim of the corpuscle that I am man would be modest in comparison. All right, it's getting deep now. It's getting deep. I don't know if y'all tracking, but try to stay with me. All right. But what indeed is the universe, if it be not the all, not yet created by the all, having separated itself into fragments, What else it what else can it be? Of what else can it be made? This is the great question. Let us examine it carefully. We find here that the principle of correspondence, right? You got to go back. It's always a lesson in the previous one. All right, which we haven't went over yet at all. All right, comes to our aid here. The old Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, may be pressed into service at this point. Let us endeavor to get a glimpse of the workings on higher planes by examining those on our own. The principle of correspondence must apply to this as well as to other problems. All right. And this is why it's important to know universal law, know spiritual law, know things of this nature. Why? Because they play a factor in daily lives. We think this is just a spiritual thing to what we perceive as spiritual as we read it, right? So let's get into it. It says, let us see on his own plane of being, how does man create? Now let's get into it. Well, first, he may create by making something out of side materials, but this will not do, for there are no materials outside the all with which it may create. Well, then, secondly, man procreates or reproduces his kind by the process of begetting, which is self multiplication. Okay? Accomplished by transferring a portion of his substance to his offspring, but this will not do. All right? We still in nature, but we talking about the all. Nor can it reproduce or multiply itself in the first place. There would be a taking away, and in the second case, a multiplication or addition to the all. Both thoughts being, let me see, absurdity. Excuse me, took me a little minute. Is there no third way in which man creates? Yes, there is. This is my favorite part, y'all. This is my favorite part. Excuse me if I was loud on the mic. He creates mentally. See, this is what I was trying to get to. I did all that reading just to get to that one part. I did all that reading just to get. See, some of y'all probably back there like, oh, nah, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. Nah. Let's pump real quick. Okay? You create where first? Mentally. Ooh. Let's dive back in, right? Let's dive back into who we are. Who are you? Pure potentiality. Who are you? Infinite creativity. Where does this start though? That's why this is so important. Where does that start? Mentally. That's why if you ain't got your mind, you ain't got nothing. If you don't have clarity here, you can't move how you want to move out here, meaning deliberate, intentional, consistent with discipline, and using discernment through it all. So you can implement what you want into society. That's what this is about. That's if you're tired of what's going on. If you like what's going on like me, then you can just do what you keep doing what you're doing. All right. So it says, yes, there is. He creates mentally. And in so doing, he uses no outside material, nor does he reproduces himself. And yet his spirit pervades the mental creation. Meaning that what? You can have a daydream, you can be on the beach, you can smell the salt water. Like, wow, what a corona. All up here. And you ain't even gotta be there. What the gurus tell you? Visualize it. What the secret tell you? The law of attraction. You must visualize it. It must be where? Here first. You are as you think you are. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Peace, love, and life. So we cannot sit back and start to belittle ourselves because we getting outside ourselves. But don't make me get outside myself. We been getting outside ourselves. That's the only reason, especially for people of my ethnic background, the reason why it seems like people getting the ups in other ethnic groups and cultures and interests and activities, and it just seems like that. But it's not about that. Because it's all mental. It's just somebody playing on your mental to make you think that's what it is. But once you realize, okay, this ain't what it is, just let me get out here in society and do what I do, right? Because purpose is built into life. I fulfill purpose when I walk, when I wake up, right? When I rise. Excuse me. If you don't want to be in the cemetery too early, when you rise. So at the end of the day, purpose is part of life. So purpose is what we fulfill. And we fulfill things through what? The motion, through the action, right? That's the law of vibration. Nothing is what? Still. Everything is fulfilling. Universal laws is important. Very. All right, so let's continue. All right. It says, following the principle of correspondence, we are justified in considering that the all creates the universe mentally. I am in you as you are in me, as we are in the all, the Father, the one, the unbound one. We are in the mind of God. Remember hearing that in church. 1,000 years to God is one day from it. We just out here talking. We not even understand what we talking about. Some people do. Some people didn't. But at the same time, based on half truths, this is one of the things I got into in the previous episode. You can catch those on YouTube, right? One thing about truth and lies is that they can be mixed and intertwined, meaning that you can have a half truth. That's what that is. A white lie is what it's called, right? Scientifically, it's called tricknology. So we have to just have discernment in what we're doing. Okay? We've been hearing things for all our life, but we just didn't know what it really meant. We didn't have the creative, imaginative process. So when we heard the word, we can see what it meant mentally in our third, what we call our third eye, our pineal gland. That's all it is. It's nothing. Once we start to break down the information, I don't like to make it sound boring, but at some point in time, we got to understand this is basic. That's why like one of the things that I'm starting to realize is we still in the reset. We're still in the reset. People be like, oh yeah, man, we failed and they resetted us and all of this. No, we're still in the reset. I'm sorry to tell y'all. We fresh out the flood, off of Noah flood, y'all. Like that's how early this is. Like this ain't no billion-year-old project from some chicken bones they want to find and call them dinosaur bones. That's not what this is. Let's keep going. All right, let's not get too much in the overthinking rant right now. All right, so it says, following the principle of correspondence, we are justified in considering that all creates the universe mentally in a manner akin to the process whereby man creates mental images. So it says what? Let's create man in our likeness and in our image. One day I'm going to find a preacher name, but it's a white preacher, or what we call white, Caucasian, European, whatever we want to say. Whatever title you want to put on the man. It's some dude, as we did Thoth earlier. If you wasn't here earlier, some dude giving us some knowledge, right? He says God lies in your imagination. The Most High lies in your imagination. Isn't that powerful? Right? I think his name Neil Goodart or something like that. Yeah, Neil Goodart. There you go. It came to me. Appreciate you. All right, Neil Goodart. All right. He says that the Most High, the unbound one, lies in where? In our imagination. That's why people be saying, like, people just be saying stuff, man. Like, we out here with the satanic thing, the Christian thing, all of these different religions, all of these is creative constructs by man. That's it. It's just creativity. So when you say it, just be like, man, it looks good. The red and black looks good on you, man, with the makeup, dude. Looks good. Hey, the suit and tie looks good. If I want to join, whatever. Choose your poison. That's what we do when we say we mixing. Cheers. But it's all creative. When you sit back and see it from the perspective of the all, right? When you realize who you are and where you come from and you look at everything, everything is creative. Everything is creating something. It's animals are creating new lives for themselves and for their young ones and for the birds, and ants creating the mounds. We go destroy the mound. The next day the ant got a whole ant pile. It's constant movement of creation. So once we realize this, it's like, wow, well, what can I do to be a part of this creative process that now that I'm aware of it, I'm conscious of it, right? We call ourselves the conscious community and don't be aware of the creative power that we have. No, everybody can't be billionaires. No, everybody can't be millionaires, 100,000aires, thousandaires, $100 homeless. It can't be everybody, but everybody is chosen for something. Oh, everybody, we the chosen ones. You are chosen for something. Now go out here and fulfill your purpose. Don't think about it. Just go and do it. It'll come to you naturally. The people tell you to find a niche. People tell you to go in here, do your study, do your research, go to school, do this, do that. Man, go out here and live your life to the fullest with consistent discipline, efforts, with being deliberate and intentional on how you moving and using discernment. Now it's hitting different because now you live in life to live life. Now you move in currency and understanding what currency is because you understand the information behind currency. And not only that, you know how to apply the information behind currency. Understanding what real money is so you know how to make proper investments in real time in real life. Understanding what the Bible really is. And you can write one for your family as they did on there. That's why it says generations of. These are the things that we lost, that we call ourselves in a reset. That's why I say we still resetting, because we still learning this stuff. If we wasn't in a reset, right? If we wasn't living the reset, then it will already be done. We're in the reset now. We are the ones to set the foundation for whatever's to come out of the fall, out of the reset, with the access of information that we have. Not the other way around. It's not our leaders. No, the leaders looking for us to do it. That's why they going on the interviews. Oh, we ain't got hospitals. We ain't got this. Or we ain't got schools. Or we ain't got this. Or they taking this out of school and taking this out of school. Why they keep saying this stuff? Because they looking for us to do it. The ones that got the kids in school. The ones that's going out here making it happen. The ones that's watching their videos and lacing their pockets from YouTube. I'm just being real. We think the revolution got to be televised. Or no, let me say, the saying is the revolution won't be televised. The saying is the revolution, meaning that we got to be out here in the streets, guns up, signs up, marching this, that, and the third. You ever think that's somebody else's narrative about a revolution? Why a revolution can't be commercials, people moving right, people actually doing it, and they doing it by laws and principles. So when people try to come on and they can't do it, they try to off one of us, the next person fill their spot on the same thing. And it ain't a family member. So if they can't just wipe out the whole family and think it's done, because it's a real essence, it's an essential nature. that has awoken within the people from the access to the information. Then they start using their own discernment, their own intuition, that the unbound, the all, is using its creativity through you. That's why we won't all go to the same. We are here for the pleasure of the all. That's why it's creating. Creating is pleasurable. It's a sense of accomplishment. It's a reward, negative or positive. To get back to the book. All right. So this probably be the last part we'll read here. Okay. So it says, in the matter akin to the process whereby man creates mental images. And here is where the reports of the reasons of reasons tallies precisely with the report of the illumined, as shown by their teachings and writings. Such are the teachings of the wise men. Such was the teachings of Hermes. All right, the title. All right, we're in the Kabbalion. Right, we had just touched on it. Right, the Kabbalion is wrote by the three initiates, which are the wise men, the three wise men. When they had Jesus, they tell you they wrote a book, but they might not be the same people from the Bible. I don't know. I'm just messing with y'all. But anyways, and they were taught by Thoth the Atlantean, Hermes, Tres Hermes the Great, Tres Greatus, or whatever it is, man. I don't know all this stuff, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't get caught up too much in the titles. To be honest, I get caught up in the information and how it can be applied. Because what was the thing about the information, the face of the information change, but the information itself doesn't change. That's why one of the greatest philosophers, like my go-to is Socrates, who was taught by a woman. You get what I'm saying? And he said on his deathbed, when everybody shunned him, all I know is I know nothing. So what do I know? You get what I'm saying? So that's how I am. But reading this book, going over the title, the universe, outer space, coming back. If you wasn't here earlier, we broke down outer space, what outer means, what space means, what uni means, what verse means, and understanding what this information is, because the information that's being given to us is somebody else's narrative. So that's why we got to understand what half truth are. I see you down there, Dave. But we have to really understand, comprehend that this is somebody else's narrative. And that's where we get the lies from, or what we consider lies. But they're half truths. Nobody can really, people can really just straight up lie to you. Don't get me wrong, right? But it's always going to be a half truth, because even lies have to stand against universal or universal principles, universal laws. You can't nothing run away from it, because we are in the mind of the all. A lie is creative. It's a creative way to get yourself out of a situation. That's why Abraham lied to the king in Egypt about his wife, Sarah, in the Bible. But then they tell you a liar can't be in the presence of God. What? What? So we have to start looking at lie differently, right? These lies that they saying, it's all creative, and we got to accept it, right? We have to accept the narrative that's being played to us so we can create our own. You can never create your own narrative until you accept till you accept the one that you're going with, right? In order to have a girlfriend, a wife, or whatever, a significant other, a spouse, whatever you want to have, right? You have to accept that person, right or wrong. You have to accept that person for who they are, what they bring to the table. You have to respect them mentally, physically, emotionally. You have to accept them. It's once we realize the importance of acceptance, man, like we just gonna live in a creative world. It's just gonna be a creative world. That's it. right? With all the creativity, one of the things, me and my younger brother, we always used to talk about in one of our dreams of, hopefully accomplishing one day in our lifetime is, just making the hood into a paradise. I live down here in South Florida, Miami, and they got Wynwood. I see the Wynwood and how they do the hoods, and it's kind of like gentrification, but I don't want to do that. I just want to build a hood, or what we consider the hood, which is the neighborhoods, to the point where every neighborhood you want to be in, regardless who living there. Homeless people ain't gotta look how they living, look how they looking just because they homeless. Just because I don't want to do what society says I have to do, don't mean I have to be looking this type of way. Don't mean I can't eat or have a place to eat. That's why we do what we do out here in the community. Because it shouldn't be, oh, I gotta live on this side of town in order for it to look like this. No, I can look like this on this side of town. One of the things we used to joke around and talk about is just imagine we get to the point where we can actually pave the streets with gold. And ain't nobody gonna be up there trying to steal the statue. It used to be like that. That's why I say we in a reset. We still in the reset, because once we get on that mental coexistence, on that mental plane, on that mental level of creation, what they over there doing in Dubai and all of this different things, and we adding this to a worldly thing, in the sense of this is how every place looking, because everybody deserve to live like this, in the sense of you gonna work regardless while you here. You gonna have to work. So why can't my environment be conducive for me? Right? So that's why it's important for us to start, just implementing ourselves in society the way that we want to, so we can begin to turn back the narrative that we've been getting this whole time, right? Because knowledge is power, but we got to realize we are the power, because what we do with the knowledge is everything. Application is everything, right? Applying what is being taught, applying the information that is being given in real time in your life, no matter how difficult it is, even though it gets difficult, right? Do whatever you got to do to get through it. We all got our vices. Don't tell reading can be somebody's vice. Hey, oh, that's so positive. Whatever. But like I said earlier, the Most High, the Unbound One, uses us as vessels for their creativity, for his creativity, for her creativity. Whatever name you want to put on it, whatever gender role you want to put on it, it uses us for its creativity. And we are vessels. That's why we have um examples of obese people being used as vessels, spiritual vessels, whatever the case, drunks, uh people that can't stay sober on whatever drug, sober people, what, it don't matter. Every single vessel is used by the Unbound One, the All, the Most High, in order to create on this plane. And you cannot run away from it. It's the essence, it's the essential nature of why we exist. The first thing it tells us is who we are. In any spiritual aspect, in any spiritual foundation, it tells us who we are. It tells us whether, if it's directly told or it's in the morals, indirectly. Sometimes you just have to have the mind and the perspective to see it, because some things ain't just given to you right out. All right, so we went over a little bit tonight. Like I always say, man, it's always an honor coming on for y'all and giving y'all this information and breaking it down like this, and taking the time to fellowship, coexist, and just learn whatever it is that we need to learn. If you was taking notes, if you wasn't, if you were just vibing with me tonight, I appreciate you. I really do. Like I always say, it's just an honor to have this opportunity, and just to do it, to be creative, and just to do it. One thing I just want everybody to walk away from today's episode is realize that there is somebody else's narrative being attached to all the information that you are coming across, and use discernment to begin to receive the information, to write your own narrative, to attach your own narrative to the information in order to apply it to your life. That's the biggest thing. Outer space, the universe, and the universe, I don't know if it exists. I don't have, besides something that was made on Adobe Art or a 3D image of something that we know that was made on a computer. I don't got no images of real outer space. I don't have no real images of universe. Everything is make believe on what it could be. The only thing that's factual that I've seen in real time is the space station that they go underwater in, and the Mars thing out there in the desert somewhere. I don't even hear Elon Musk talk about it no more. Yeah, they can go up there in the sky real high, but as we seen, one of the names for verse or universe is the firmament. So I don't know. So at the end of the day, man, I just say take that, you know, get the information, attach your own narrative, and apply it into your life so you can go out here in society and build it how you want to. Other than that, man, I am out. I am out. I am out. Peace, love, and life. It was an honor.